Okay. Hello, dear friends. Good evening. Such a beautiful, beautiful evening. The sun is setting down, and this is the best time of the day. So I finished my work and choose to have a walk in this beautiful, people passing by, so I cannot focus in this beautiful scene. Look at it. Oh, the golden sunshine. Okay, I will put my camera facing the beautiful scene, okay? And isn't it gorgeous, right? Oh, yes. I sometimes say that I get comments from friends who there is a little kid screaming. Okay, I sometimes, maybe I will stop here. Oh, I hope you do not hear those sounds too much. Okay, let me just continue. And I wear a mic, a wireless mic on my collar, so it should catch the good sound. So this is a city park. The city is quite nearing my city. This area is much more affluent than the city I live in. And however, the economic status and the city decide to keep this place not developed, and I do not know the story of this park. Maybe I will search how it come into being, and this is a kind of the natural states in this area. Before Silicon Valley became Silicon Valley, and in the old time, back to the old time, before the written history, and when, the airplane sound. So before the conquistadores, before the gold rush, before California was colonized by the people from Europe, this place must be used to live by the Native American people, and then gold rush. This area, not so much about gold rush, but the train, there is a train station, and with the transportation and with the prune orchard, it started to develop, and eventually in Mountain View, Shockley, I forgot his first name, the Shockley semiconductor started to do the Nobel Prize. The Nobel Prize winner, Shockley, started to have his Shockley lab, and started the Silicon Valley started, the internet started, the later on, all these things. But before this, it was just this kind of natural trees, redwood, mountains. Let me see what this tree is. I don't think this is a Ponderosa pine tree, because this kind of pine looks like something not Ponderosa. Anyway, let me just oh, okay. Let me just try to explain, and for the people who may not have the chance to get out, for the people who may not looking at the image, at the video. I know a lot of you listen to my video because you are in a kind of in a trance, in a very relaxed mode, a subconscious mode. You are doing your things, you are doing your programming, and put it on the side. So I am working on a kind of wood, raised wood. Did you hear it? Raised wood structure. It's in Chinese we call it 栈道. It's like something going to the ocean, and from the seaside going going to yes, please.
Sorry.
No problem. So from the seaside going to the ocean, that wood structure. So I am walking on this wood suspended structure because there used to be water, and with the California becoming so dry, the wood structure does not really serve anything at this moment. The downstairs you can walk, it's completely dried up. And so I walk on this wood pathway, and I remember a couple of years ago, there was, maybe last year, there was California suddenly had the rain season had a lot of water, and it almost come to the stage of this wood pathway. So it's something like 3, 4, 5 meters that height. So one thing I heard about the weather change, the climate pattern change, is that the Sierra Nevada mountains, winter is becoming. I had to stop because there is another airplane just passing by. So on the other side, we talk about what we have done to the nature. Within 3 minutes' time, there were 3 airplanes passing by right above my head. So much air traffic. And another thing about this water, and I heard from the UC California, UC did some research. So the weather becomes hotter, and the cold weather becomes shorter. They didn't say the cold weather becomes colder or less hot, less cold. That is not so much about this study. It's just the cold season becomes shorter. So when the water falls, usually in winter time it becomes snow. And for the snow to melt takes longer time. And that way, the nature actually kept the water for longer time in the snow form. And when it melts down, it slowly melts down, and the weather has a relatively, or the California, relatively have a more even, balanced supply of water. I think it's actually very much making sense. The nature is keeping the water in the snow form, and it slowly melts, so that for the year round we get a more or less more balanced water. Now the hot season becomes longer because weather becomes hot, and the winter time maybe, I didn't know, maybe becomes even colder. And I guess because if you think about the overall, the entropy, the overall heat or coldness the Earth can produce, it should be the same but balanced into the season. Does this make any sense? So when it is getting in winter time, it may drop the same amount of, for the whole year, it may drop the same amount of water, but suddenly the water, because it's not in the snow form, so the water get to the ground and get evaporated faster. So if it is the same amount of water and not preserved in the snow form, then less water is preserved in the snow form, and more water is dropping down as rain, as water then easily evaporated, and has more water at that time, right? You get the idea, I think. So that's one of the weather change brought. Anyway, so one of these 2 years, last year or year before, it was full of water, and I was very happy. Anyway, we got water to see, and so oftentimes we do not see even any water. And this area, because of the high redwood tree, so there is a lot of shade. Even without water, it feels cool, it feels moisturous because of the tree, because of the trees, the trees' photosynthesis. Yeah. And also, please excuse me for the noise, for the sharp, quick, brisk noise. There was an archery, that people are doing some archery in that place. So you may hear something. So it is just so beautiful, and there are a lot of trees around me. One thing very interesting about this redwood tree, I recently listened to one arborist talk about the enjoy. I recently listened to an arborist talking about trees, his appreciation for the trees, for the plants. Actually, the trees, they have much longer history than human beings. They must have a very smart mechanism to deal with nature, to deal with the ginkgo trees stayed for so long time, and all these trees, some of this single tree can stay up to hundreds, thousands of years. And there must be a lot of intelligence. For example, one tree died, and they sprout out and make a group of trees. The children grow up. Yeah, just so interesting. And it made me think about the evolution of of the world, right? So the world used to prioritize, to benefit, or to be dominated by physical power. Dinosaur, huge dinosaur, whale, and big, huge elephant, big, huge animals, big, huge plants. And with time, and especially with the human intelligence, we are killing the world. We use our power to kill the world. And those huge trees grew in the mountain for thousands of years. And the sawmill can cut the tree in one day, in one shot. And the world is not so much about physical power now. Now I am thinking the world is relatively fair, and nature is revenging us with germs, with virus, with this super small microorganism. They were the revenge from heaven for what we have done wrong. It's just suddenly a thought. I do not know whether this makes any sense, but I guess it does make sense, right? And 出来做事总是要赔的，总是要还的。When we come to this world, we have our action. All our action has a consequence, has a price, and we need to pay our price, right? That's just some rambling. Okay, let's keep on walking. And yeah, oh, they are taking picture of a dog, maybe. Okay, let's walk this way. Yeah, and another thing is recently I was listening to histories, and I listened to one video, English, Chinese history in English. I mean, it's explained by the Western reading Chinese book, and I felt that is not telling what I have learned. So I am thinking of making videos of Chinese history because it's fascinating. It's fascinating. Yeah, that's in the future project. No promise. I am interested, and I just want to share some of the new curiosity I am having. Here is another thing. So the other day, I open up a local newspaper. Every Sunday, we have some local newspaper coming to us. Okay, it's a promotion they give for free, and I saw one news. Professor Dr. Zimbardo has just has passed away. And I have heard Dr. Zimbardo, and then they mentioned Stanford professor, controversial psychology experiment. So I searched online and learned a little bit about it. So that was at the 1960s. there were a lot of these controversial psychology studies. So they hired some students, Stanford students, 20-something Stanford students, and pay them a certain fee, $15 per day or $50 per day. Anyway, it's just paid students. They had an advertisement. Whoever want to participate the psychology study, please sign up. They got a lot of people sign up, and then they did some screening. And people from abusive family, people who had a bad temper, people who, they have quite a restrictive method to screen people so that they can get some of the most ordinary and most normal, no bad influence, no hardship in their life, just normal, I think 20-something young guys and all white people, all young men. And they did the study. And just by a toss, put into two groups. One group to be the police, to be the guard, prison guard, and one group to be the prisoner. And they actually used Palo Alto police officer arrested the people in the street. That was the old time. People can do this. Imagine the insulting, the humiliation to be arrested in the middle of the street. And they start to let the prison guard to imprison this and to care about this. So they can do, if the prisoner not listening to them, they will give punishment. And so the first time, and the prisoners start to rebel, and the prison guards start to give some really humiliating and super strong punishment. And until they plan to do this test for 20 days something, or 2 weeks or 20 days. And on the day 6, the things is becoming so out of hand because of the rebel from the prisoners, and because of the abuse of power of the prison guard. At day 6, one young lady, Stanford or whichever school's student, or also did psychology study, came and found the prisoners start to cry hysterically and just out of control. She said, "You had to stop." So Dr. Zimbardo had stopped this. So the whole process, the whole experiment, you can search online. You will get much more detailed information. And what I am talking, not for you to get a full picture of it. It's just a starting point. I want to talk my thought. So the whole point is that people, even what we think are good people, kind people, is subject to abusing power. When in certain situations, when we have the power, we abuse it. And it's quite shocking. And it's quite deep when we think about it. And a side story, that lady who stopped the prison experiment was actually eventually become the wife of Dr. Zimbardo, and a very admirable. Both of them are very admirable for thinking of it, for making such a thinking out of box to plan this such a deep, profound human nature experiment. Yeah, very, very interesting, very, very deep, very deep. And this lady, she herself is a professor in UC Berkeley or Stanford. She did a study on corporate burnout, work burnout. I think it's totally connected. It's totally connected. We are subject to abusing power. Our work sometimes change us, determine us, reform us, remold us, and make us into a different person. I'm not saying we are a tool, but the truth is that when we are wearing that uniform as a prison guard, so later on there are a lot of prison abuse cases, we already know. When we wear the uniform of prison guard, we may abuse our power. When we become teacher, there is a goal. We have to let the class be quiet, to listen to us, to fulfill the test, to pass the test, to let students chew in what we have taught them, digest when they cannot digest. When you work for a business, when we work for a business, our goal is to make money. It's not to make a charity to lose money, right? All these things, when we think about it, there is a chance that we reform ourselves without ourselves even noticing, right? I do not have a solution for it. I was just thinking about it. I am thinking. Just to remember, we have a life. We are human. We have things more than just to go to work. When we think of our family, our friends, our life, our pets, our home, when we think on multi aspects, we can get a little bit better understanding of the meaning of our life. Do I make any sense? And this area is open up. I feel that the air is fresh, the trees are surrounding me. There are a couple of trees starting to turning red, to turning this beautiful color. It's almost like it's a serendipity. Is this serendipity? suddenly all things turns out to be just right. My thought is becoming more and more clear. The landscape becoming more and more clear. And from the messy, crowded, free growing branch, I start to see pattern. And not only seeing pattern, I start to see highlights, the fall foliage highlights, which is like my thought highlight. I have a life. I am not only a teacher, I am also a mother, a wife, a sister, a daughter, a person, a YouTube person, my ordinary life person, right? Sometimes we are successful, sometimes we are not. And on one side, we are not successful. Maybe on the other side, we can be more successful, right? It is balanced. If we focus on one thing and we put too much of our attention to one thing, we may very much end up be the wrong person, do the wrong thing. And just recently, I saw some influencers in prison because they abuse their children. Is that because they want to show how good they are, how strict they are, how disciplined they are, how under control, how good they are, put everything under control so that they forget or they ignore the fact that they are with their family, their children. Maybe because the fame get too much into them. Of course, I do not understand them. I cannot think of what they are thinking. And just some random thoughts on those.
We'll be pulling arrows in just a minute. We're almost ready to pull arrows.
So they are pulling arrows. I waited. And they tell me, you can still pass, so just wait a moment. I just feel it's so, there is one side that guy knows his job and also knows that it's a world that we share. If we follow a certain rule, certain courtesy, certain practice, a lot of things can be actually very amicable, friendly to handle, to deal with, right? Yeah. Anyway, that's my random thoughts. It's about time I go home. Okay. The sun is setting down. And oh, I need to show you my outfit of the day. And the same polka dots, nothing fancy, but there is something fancy, is this purple color. And I made this earring purple. Purple goes with it. Okay, you have a beautiful, beautiful evening. I love you. I really do. Do, 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 do. I hope this will not get you too stressed. I love you. I really do. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Goo, goo, bye, bye.